Hi everyone. I was just reading the lesson for today in A Course in Miracles. It's one of those lessons in the beginning of the workbook that are really fundamental and yet so powerful. Right? These early lessons are so fundamental in the reversal of the thinking of the world compared to, for instance, the last lessons. Right? They're so powerful and so fundamental that they completely, right, negate the thinking of the world and instead ask from you that you adopt a different thought system. The lesson for today is God is my strength, vision is his gift. And it's an incredible lesson because this is how he says it. He says, the idea for today combines two very powerful thoughts, both of major importance. Right? God is my strength. For those of you who practice A Course in Miracles, you'll very likely experience that the strength that you feel as a result of practicing these ideas that you're given in the reversal of thought brings about a strength in you that cannot be compared to anything that the world can give you. In other words, you know it's not coming from your little idea of yourself or from the world, it's coming from beyond that, right? And it's coming from source, right? But it's incredibly powerful. Huh? And you know, because no one in the world is certain. No one who thinks he is what he's made of himself is certain. That's just pretended certainty. Certainty comes from source, certainty comes from God. So that's an amazing idea. The other one is vision is his gift. The idea that you can be gifted, you have been gifted, but you can access that gift of vision simply by being willing to look at it differently. So it says here, it also sets forth a cause and effect relationship that explains why you cannot fail in your efforts to achieve the goal of this course. Obviously, the goal of this course is the peace of God. The goal of this course is to finally learn the lesson that you are whole and perfect as God created you. So this is an amazing idea. You will see, because it's the will of God, it is his strength, not your own, that gives you power. Right? If you rely on your own strength, you're going to be fearful. It's that simple. If you experience fear, you are relying on your own strength. If you're relying on the strength of source, of God, it's impossible to be fearful, because that strength comes from far, far beyond space-time. Right? It comes from core. It comes from self, capital S. It comes from you as you truly are. So that's an amazing idea. The other thing is, it says here, God is indeed your strength, and what he gives is truly given. This means that you can receive it anytime, anywhere, wherever you are, in whatever circumstance you find yourself. What many of us have learned is that you can ask for it regardless of where and when you are, regardless of what circumstance you find yourself in. When you need help, you ask for it and you step back and let it be shown, and it will come to you in some form that will be most helpful. Right? So you're so used as a human in space-time to solve your own problems, but the fact of the matter is you don't really have a problem. And the way that you've solved it has never worked for you. If it had worked for you, you would be at perfect peace. So we're learning to do this differently. We're learning to step back and ask for help, and then trust that the problem will be solved for you. Somewhere in the Course in Miracles, he says, you've never done the following. You've never wholly given everything over to the Holy Spirit and asked him to solve your problems. So that's what the practice is. It's you asking on a continuous basis, step back and asking for help and ask for the solution. So I love the next line. Listen to this. Your passage through time and space is not at random. Right? You're like, well, what am I doing here? Why am I here? No, right? You get all these thoughts. I don't want to. No, you're exactly where you need to be. It's impossible that you're not. I love that. Right? Trust that you're exactly where you are. Maybe you want your circumstances to be different. Maybe you want this to be different. Maybe you want to be somewhere else or some time else. No, you're exactly where you need to be at this moment. This is where you do your learning. You cannot be in the right place at the right, you cannot but be at the right place in the right time. Such is the strength of God, such are his gifts. Again, right? When you're in the world, you always want things to be different, right? If only this were different, I would be happy. That's impossible. That's impossible because it's not the circumstances that will make you happy. Ever. Ever. Ask anyone who you think has got everything that you could possibly want, and he'll tell you, if he's honest, that that ain't it. Right? Often the most miserable people are the rich people. Often the most miserable people are the people who seem to be everything going for them, and yet they're not. And yet, often the happiest people are the people that somehow are able to accept everything exactly as it is, and are able to be here right now and accept and find that happiness within them that's completely available in your contact with Source. So it's an amazing idea. These are the lessons that we practice, and this is the reversal of the thinking of the world that promises you a totally different way of being in space-time. This is an incredible lesson, and its power to bring about in you peace, love, rest is without limits, right? All you need to do is practice it. Its usefulness is without limit, right? It has something to show you of far greater value. It has something to show you that you have refused to accept about yourself, that you've denied, that you've rejected. But it's available. And these true thoughts can bring about the entire shift if you let it. So yeah, it's an amazing idea. It says here, the idea for the day is a beginning step in bringing thoughts together, right? Because if you know anything about the human mind, it's completely conflictual. It has opposing thoughts, conflicting thoughts, and it never is able to bring about that peace that it's looking for because of the fact that it's conflicting. All his thoughts are conflicting, right? In the early lessons, he says, he has you practicing this. In my circumstance regarding this and this and this, I would like this to happen, I would like this to happen, I would like this to happen. And he says, now look at what you would like to happen, right? They're conflicting. If this happens, then the other thing won't happen, right? So you have conflicting outcomes and they're on conflicting levels. And in that mindset, peace is absolutely impossible. So he says, this is a beginning step in bringing thoughts together and teaching you that you are studying a unified thought system in which nothing is lacking that is needed. Love that. And nothing is included that is contradictory or irrelevant. I'm going to read that one more time because it's such an amazing, amazing statement. So in practicing these new ideas, right? In practicing the idea for today, God is my strength, vision is his gift, look at that as a beginning step in bringing thoughts together, right? Reconciling conflicting thoughts. And teaching you that you are studying a unified thought system. The thought system that A Course in Miracles sets forth is a unified thought system. It's wholly without conflict. And it's in every essence the opposite of the thinking of the world, which is also a unified thought system, but completely conflictory. Right? It's wholly illusionary in any sense. In which nothing is lacking that is needed. I love it. If you need something, it's going to be there for you. Think about that for a moment, and then think about your situation in the world. How's that working out? It isn't, right? You're constantly lacking and you think you have no access to it. No. Nothing is lacking that is needed, and nothing is included that is contradictory or irrelevant. There's no conflict in a wholly unified thought system that is being taught by A Course in Miracles. Right? And all things that are irrelevant are left out. They're not part of it. Right? I love it because finally, this goes back to lesson 1. Nothing I see means anything. Right? These thoughts are meaningless. Right? You're learning to leave out what's meaningless and see it in an entirely different light by reconciling your thoughts. What an amazing idea that you're practicing a reversal of thought, a different thought system that will bring about in you the peace of God, the happiness that you've been looking for, and the rest that this world cannot give you. because you cannot find rest in the midst of war, in the midst of conflict. Rest is found in Source. Hence the lesson a little bit later in A Course in Miracles, I rest in God. That is the true thing. You can only rest in God. You cannot rest in this world. It's amazing. It's amazing if you get a little bit of a glimpse of what's being offered you. Right? Often go like, well, I got this book in my shelf and it's A Course in Miracles, and yeah, I'm practicing it and do some other stuff. No. There's nothing like it. This is what you've been looking for, right? This is your course. This is a special version of the the universal course that is especially designed for you to accelerate what you've been looking for. You're ready for it, otherwise you wouldn't have it. Again, you're not here at random, right? Everything that's happening to you is exactly what's supposed to be happening. You're ready for this. First of all, you wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't. Secondly, you are apparently practicing A Course in Miracles, so you must be ready for it. Again, your journey in space and time is not at random. See how it's nice to just get in that thought system without conflict. It's a unified thought system. In my mind, there is no doubt that I'm here at random, that not at random. That wherever I find myself, it's exactly where I need to be. Whatever is happening to me today is exactly what needs to be happening to me. I may not like it always. You're not asked to like always what's happening to. You're asked to learn from it. You're asked to accept it as it is, step back and ask for help. That's the continual action of mind that you'll get used to as you practice these lessons and as you progress in that spiritual transformation process that this course sets forth. It's different. It's not hard, it's just different. And when you think it's hard, it's usually because somehow you're holding on to your old thought system. That new thought system doesn't fit there. It doesn't fit in your human thought system. It doesn't fit in the thinking of the world. You have to, for a moment, let go of these old habits, thoughts, ideas, concepts, and allow something new to happen. Yes, it will be uncomfortable for a moment because you're letting go of your old reference. But at the same time, you're learning a new reference, a light reference, if you will, and you learn to rely on that. And the more you test it out, if you will, the more you rely on it, the more it shows you that you can always rely on it, and it will never leave you comfortless. And that's when usually trust becomes really, really pertinent, becomes really, really present. Because you rely on it, you rely on it, you rely on it. You're not going to tell it what it should look like. You ask for help, you step back. Holy Spirit, I'll give this to you. Solve this for me. And it will be solved if you're genuinely asking it. It cannot not. Your mind is all power, right? All power in the universe. All power is given you in heaven and earth. The whole universe will rush in to your aid if you need help. That's a fact. Be careful what you ask for, right? Like, if you ask for things of the world, you'll get things of the world, right? If you ask for truth, you'll get truth. And whatever the seeming problem is, you can always ask for help. Don't tell it what it should be. Ask for genuine help. And then see how easily it's being resolved for you. So that's my lesson for today. Thank you for joining me, right? It's always nice for a moment to join in a mind training practice of the universal course coming from time to eternity, coming from separation to wholeness, coming from the idea of darkness to light, right? It's a process that each of us in his own mind is going through at some point in time and has, and you're still home in heaven. This is just a dream. Remember, this is just a dream. I love you. I hope you have a great, great day whenever and wherever you are. And I'll see you real soon.